Hey, good morning. I am actually on the way to work, and I was driving, and I said to myself, you know what? I wonder if I could take a moment and talk about consistency. In our walk with God, we have challenges, we have things that happen, things that come up, and a lot of times the challenge that we may have has, the response to the challenge, rather, I might say, has a lot to do with our prayer life, and a lot to do with being consistent in our prayer life. And I'm going to work today. I'm on the way to work, and I live in Los Angeles, California, so to go a mile would take me about an hour. But the idea behind this morning, it was that I'm on the way to work. I go to work every day. I'm consistent every day. And you know why that's interesting? That when you're consistent with work, what happens? You get a consistent paycheck. When you go to work every day, if you miss work, guess what? There's money that's not in your bank account because you've missed work. When you're not consistent, your paycheck will reflect. There would be an outward expression and an outward manifestation of consistency. And consistency is hard, even for someone like me who is pretty consistent, and I try to be structured. I got things I do, and blah, blah, blah. So, but in our prayer lives as Christians, and definitely as apostolic Christians, I consider myself apostolic, and I adhere to, or listen to, or really revere, if you will, the book of Acts, that the first church, the apostolic church, was, the book of Acts was the how to, it was the where to, when to, and who to, and it's the actions of the apostles. That's why it's called the book of Acts. It's the Acts, it's what they did. So when I think about the book of Acts, and I think about consistency and a paycheck and going to work every day, I think about, man, we need to be consistent in our prayer life and in our walk with God, because it is so easy to be thrown off. Let's say that, right now I get in a wreck driving, let's say that happens. So if that happens, that situation might cause me to respond a certain way. It might cause me to be upset about something, or do something, say something I wouldn't say. However, if my life is rooted in consistent prayer every day, all day long, you constantly talk to God. You're constantly in communion with God. You're constantly talking to God. If your life is rooted in consistency, then there is less likelihood that your response, and I see some of your guys' comments coming up on the screen, but I'm driving, and if I can catch it while I'm driving, I'll try and see the comments, but I see you guys saying stuff. But when your prayer life is rooted in consistency, when you have a challenge in life, when you have a car wreck, when you have something that's happened to you, or some bad news, or you get fired from a job, or whatever it is, that your response will be a more productive response if your life is rooted in communion with God. And so when we think about consistency, I think about times in my life that I have not been consistent. And what did it produce? It produced inconsistencies. It produced volatility. It produced mayhem. It was a problem. Me not being consistent in my prayer life in my fasting. I fast once a week. I pray every day. I go to the gym every day. Today I didn't because I was up too late last night doing something. But usually every morning I'm at the gym at 6:30, and then I'm in the shower and off to the office by 8. So, but consistency produces success. You might think, okay, look, I'm going to have, a miracle that happens today. Yeah, miracles happen. And miracles happen, the way that my mind, the way it works is miracles happen, every day for me. But, a miracle can happen and bring you a great measure of success and a great measure of happiness, or, whatever it may be. However, the key to extreme success is a consistency. I moved that out of the way because the sun was blinding me, so now I can see what I'm doing. But so as I was driving this morning, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of what I was thinking, which is consistency is really the key. My pastor talks about it, that if you want to start seeing great levels of breakthrough and great levels of you pray, oh God, touch so-and-so, or you're praying at the altar with somebody. The pathway to a great anointing and being able to really be used by God is consistency. Here's something I always say, if you expect God to move on your behalf, but you can't get to church every week, how in the world does that happen? Same thing with a job. If you have a Monday through Friday job, but you only show up on Monday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you just, not only do you not show up, you don't even tell anyone, no one even knows if you're coming in, you won't have that job very long, and you will find no success in that job because you have no consistency. So the same works with our relationship with God, that when we have consistency every day, with our prayer life and our communion with God and our fasting and church attendance and tithing and all these things that are Bible principles, to be honest, that is the real key to success. Because once something has been done over and over and over, it becomes natural. I'll tell you why. On Saturday, I wake up at 5:30 and I just scream. I scream every time I do, because I think, oh man, it's Saturday. I would love to sleep in. My goodness. And then I can't, because my body is so accustomed to waking up at 5:30 throughout the week that it just makes for a very difficult weekend to sleep in. So I understand that the idea of consistency affects every part of your life, and in my certain situation, it affects my weekend sleep-in time. I don't get, because I'm consistent throughout the week. However, normally what I'll do is I'll relax on Saturday and take a nap in the afternoon, so I do make up for that time. But let's challenge ourselves to be as consistent as we possibly can. There's times where I'm like, man, I don't want to get up to go to the gym, but I do. I get up to go to the gym because I know it feels good when I'm done for the day, and I'm like, man, I was productive today. I did this, I did that. I went to the gym even though I was tired. So consistency is key, as my pastor says, and I believe that 100%. Consistency in your marriage. If you are not consistent in your marriage, would it fail? Yeah, of course. If you were not consistent in your job, would it fail? We can no longer expect for us to have an inconsistent relationship with God and for us to succeed. We have to understand that consistency with God produces a great anointing and a great relationship with God. I want to encourage you guys today on this live and start doing this once in a while if I can, and give my little 2 cents, which means absolutely nothing. So, but appreciate you guys. Love y'all. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. And power is knowledge, and the lack of it is death.